You're listening to the Fun Waste of Time podcast.
All right, so let's go to what we've been playing. Let's start with Brad. Brad, what have you been playing over the last few weeks?
I'm still stuck on No Man's Sky. I just keep going back to that for some reason. It's just kind of this relaxing game that you could just pick up and play. I'm not really serious into it. I just enjoy kind of exploring and stuff. We did play the Outriders demo. Actually, I wasn't on the last podcast. I did acquire a PS5 between the last time that, I was on the podcast. So I've been going through a lot of stuff there. Again, No Man's Sky mainly on the PS5. But I'm really excited because with the new TV, I'm finally going to get back into. I want to just double down and get into Ghost of Tsushima, and maybe replay God of War and Days Gone because they've been updated. I really enjoyed those games, and I've just replaying them at 60 frames per second is a godsend. Finally.
Well, good luck playing them in that living room of yours, in that theater that you have, because I get the feeling that your wife is going to start spending a lot more time down there now that you got that 85-inch TV there, brother.
Well, here's the thing, though, with that. We moved the 65-inch into the bedroom. So she has the 65-inch instead of the 50-inch now in there. So we'll see. We'll see. She knows that's kind of like my home away from home, essentially. It's where I spend most of my time is in front of the TV there.
See, I like how Brad is thinking strategically. He knew that he wanted that 85-inch TV to be all his. So he took that previous TV, put it in the bedroom so the wife will be happy getting her nice little upgrade. That is awesome. James, what have you been playing these days?
I've just been raiding on Destiny 2 and completing these challenges that are in the season pass, which have become a little daunting to say the least. This week, I also spent some time with Anthony. We played and finished the remainder of the missions for Ghost of Tsushima Legend mode, which was a lot of fun. We had a really good time. I've also been playing NBA 2K as well, working on my career and getting my player up.
What point are you at with him right now? Is he past the high school, college? Is he in the NBA or?
Yeah, I mean, I come off the bench for the Lakers right now, but I just hit the point in the role playing portion of the game where, they because they draft you and another guy at the same time for the same position. And he's not getting a lot of burn. So he's the one that's getting traded and not me. And hopefully I'll be a starter soon, apparently. But yeah, that's been fun. I actually like the story this year a little bit more than last year. My biggest complaint, though, is the new online city. It's so massive, and I'm going to have to probably buy a skateboard or something to get around because it's just huge. It's unnecessary size for a social space. It really is. What have you been playing, Anthony?
So I did try the Outriders demo. It's different. It's not really my thing. Trying not to be negative. I like the power set that you get. I think of anything in the game, that's probably my favorite aspect of it. I had, was it called the Trickster?
Makes sense.
Power set. Yeah. Hey. No, but it was, I like the powers. I think for me, if I would have been able to access them a little earlier, use a little bit more, there's a balance. I get it. But aside from that, again, Ghost of Tsushima, I've been playing the campaign, and it's a good game. I love the time that we can take with it and plotting, and like I said before, and taking our time strategizing. And I like the little things that get you. You can customize your character and all that sort of thing. So I've had a lot of fun with that one. I think out of the online games I've played lately, that's probably my favorite, which makes sense because that's my favorite game anyway. So it was just a fun extension of that. And I haven't played 2K, but I tend to play more of the my NBA because I like to take franchises and move them to different cities and all that sort of thing. It's fun, and it is better than 2K20. I just thought with this being the next level platform that some of the kinks would have been worked out a little bit with the customization, but I'm still waiting. So, for instance, I took the Kings from Sacramento, moved to Las Vegas, and you can customize it and everything. But every once in a while, that Sacramento banner still comes out, and I'm like, come on, guys. But that's all I've been pretty much playing. How about you, Tars?
Oh, what have I been playing these days? I've been having a great time playing stuff. NBA 2K21 is my jam, fellas. I am kicking my brothers behind. And I know I mentioned on the podcast the last time, but it just keeps rolling, man. I'm enjoying every second of it. He used to kick my tail back 4 or 5 years ago when we used to play this, and have the roles changed. But I've also been playing a little of that, my career also, and been quite enjoying that. The story, I've never played the story mode of NBA 2K before. So this is the first time that I'm actually running through it. And I'm actually liking the story. The story's actually kind of cool. And another great thing about doing that too is it gets you stronger with using a lot of the features of the gameplay mechanics. So I've been getting better at defense, and that may be one of the reasons why I've been getting better and have at least been able to compete with my brother, if not beat him. So I'm glad I'm actually spending a little time in that mode. That's actually pretty cool. But I've also been playing a lot of the Outriders demo, more than I actually thought I would. I probably put about 30 hours into the Outriders demo. It's a 3 to 4 hour demo with about 4 missions, but I like the game so much, I've just been going back to it. And as you continue to play and you farm at higher tiers, world tiers, you get better loot. And I got a couple of legendaries, and it's been really, really cool to run through the game with these legendary weapons that I have. I typically play as I actually have characters for all 4. So I ran through the demo with all 4 characters, leveled them all up. But I think my favorite character to play as will be the Devastator. The Devastator is a really, really cool character to play through. All of them are actually really cool, to be honest with you. I like this game so much, I bought it. I pre-ordered it on PlayStation. And I'm also going to play it on Xbox. Debating whether or not I want to get the Hell Rangers DLC or the pre-order that comes with it, so you can get additional weapons and gear and that kind of thing. But been having a great time with that. But I also played a little Ghost of Tsushima with James and Anthony, and we had a great time playing the multiplayer in Ghost. When we played a few Thursdays back, we played on a Thursday one day for a few hours, and we had a good time running through that. We had to play with some randos because we needed a 4th wheel, and we just jumped in. We just let some guys jump in with us, and we played with them. They were just running all over the place. And then we switched over to play a few missions in Outriders. And we played Outriders weeks before when it first came out. And I thought they changed their mind about how they felt about it, but it may not be their jam. But when we switched over to play a few missions in Outriders, they started complaining like a bunch of old curmudgeons. Oh my God, Brad. Brad, I said they were complaining so much, I had to ask James Anthony what was in those cups they were drinking, because they were poo-pooing all over a game that I love.
When I get thirsty and I just want to hate on something somebody loves, I reach for a nice, cold brewed James Anthony Haterade. Gives you all the electrolytes you need to poo-poo all over it. James Anthony Haterade. It's what's in your cup.
It's funny how revisionist stories go, because you remember me and James making some random jokes at the expense of Outriders and your lack of shoes that you get in the beginning and stuff like that. But you don't remember how in Ghost of Tsushima, when you play the character the way you're supposed to play, you kept calling me a coward for a good 25 minutes because I was the hunter and I was playing from a distance because your strength is your bow. So I think it's weird that you have a selective memory, but that's fine. I guess we won't get a clip of that.
No, you're right. You're right. It's all in
But-
fun, man.
And
It's all in fun.
You know, it's funny to, kind of piggyback on what Anthony said. Like the way that him and I played the story mode together, it worked out perfect because most of the guys were in groups of 2. So he'd be like, all right, I'm gonna shoot this one. And I would be above him, like, all right, I'm gonna stab this dude. And I would assassinate one and he would, shoot the ball at the other. And like probably through the first 4 or 6 missions, I don't think either of us died. Like I don't even think like we really had a challenge because we were just working together so well with having the
That's
range and the close attacks. And he does have a selective memory though, because
Yeah, he does.
he also
What's
forgets
funny,
how salty he was because we were making fun of
he
his
was.
game. If we could
He
have only
was.
had his like a webcam on him slouching in his seat pouting because we were like, man, these loading times, man, I don't
Hey,
have any sneakers.
They were hating on it so bad, man. My feelings did get hurt. Ain't gonna lie to you. I was like, I love
just
this
making
game.
jokes.
Why
It was
y'all
just
hating on this
jokes.
game? I love this game. And I
It
was really
just jokes.
Hey,
But I will
was
tell you
really-
one thing though is not to go back to it too much, but James brought up a good point, and it, like I said, is the way that campaign is set up. The thing I like about it is if you play to your character's strengths, you have different modes of attacks. And I swear the way we did it, if you look at our stats, which I'm not a stat guy, but even, James pointed out, our stats are pretty even because of the way we attacked it. You know what I mean? We would look at, it wasn't like, hey buddy, let's go attack this camp and I'll see you back in a couple of minutes. We literally, James, I give James the most credit because he took the lead because he's got a little bit better strategic mind than I do. But I think that's why if you're able to do that and you're able to take advantage of each class's strength and apply it to the campaign, it does make a difference. But in the end, what I liked about it was you look at our stats and they're pretty even across the board. You know
That's
what I mean?
awesome.
We're doing the same things, but we're just using our character strengths in that situation.
That is fantastic. But still,
James Anthony, Haterade.
It's what's in your cup.
Hey, Brad, it was basically at the end of that last mission, we were joking. I thought we were having a good time, but Tars was like, I'm taking my ball and going home. I'll see y'all.
you know what? And
It
listen,
was-
I want to give an apology to the fellas. Actually, I did have a bad attitude that night. I will agree to that.
And you know what's
And
crazy?
let me just
He's
explain why, though.
You know how I know he's really upset, and I appreciate that he said he had a bad attitude. But not only that, I wonder if he got up and recorded that because that's his voice on that recording. If y'all didn't know, he recorded that.
I mean,
That's like a diss track. I'm gonna have to. I think I got to come
My
back
feelings were
on
hurt,
that.
man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know what it is about this game, and I am in love with this game.
He just like
And
he just ushered us. Like
you're in love with it, guys. I wasn't there, obviously, but it impacted him enough that he needed to vent to someone about it, and that someone was me. And I'm like, I mean, and we had a long discussion about the Division 2 and how when we played it, I didn't say anything, but I wasn't having a good time, not because of you guys, but because of the game. And I'm like, okay, like I'm not gonna ruin these guys' good time that they're having. But yeah, I was just like, wow, they must really not like this game, and which was
Well,
funny
hold on.
because I at the time did not like it either. I was not like, I played like the first like 10, 15 minutes of it, didn't even get past the tutorial. I'm like, man, this feels weird. The gunplay sucks. Like in that opening thing where you're having to do the training
Yeah.
tutorial. I'm like, this does not feel right. The graphics just look like they're like Xbox One, like, but like as the game kind of opens up, the gameplay itself got better to me, and the gunplay and stuff got better. So, and I like unlocking the powers and stuff. So, I mean, I'm going to give it a fair shake. I'm going to play it. It does seem like it would be worth at least one playthrough. I don't know if it's like that kind of thing for me where I'm like going to do, I'm not into it as Taurus is. I'm not going to have
no one is.
multiple play. I mean, I've followed it on like Reddit and message boards and stuff. There are people that are hardcore enthusiasts for this game. So, it does seem like it has a very strong following in the groups of people that really, really like it. And, I think the same can be said for a lot of other games too. You know, there are people that just absolutely hated The Last of Us Part 2. I loved it. I can't wait to go back through it when they update it for the PS5.
So my point though, Brad, is I'm not disparaging the game or his love of it. It's just I think he's crossed that line a little bit where he goes into like hanging pictures up in his wall in his room and
he's got an Outrider shrine.
Obsession with because now Brad, you've played the Division 2 with us.
Yes.
And you of all people know how serious are we through those missions? I mean, we take them seriously, but how much clowning are we doing throughout while we're playing?
A ton.
That's all we were doing. And it was so funny because the next time James and I played online, we hadn't heard from Taurus. and I think neither one of us wanted to bring it up. And we were like, hey, man.
Do you know, I think the biggest downside
he was like, hey, man, you talked to Taurus? I was like, nah, man, you talked to Taurus.
Oh, man. Okay.
It's like we were afraid to contact him. We're like, we'll just let him cool down before we contact him again.
You know what I think it was? I think it was the levity that I bring to the situation. Like, I couldn't be there with Outriders because that's probably the biggest knock I have against the game is it's three-person co-op. Like, I would love to have 4 people on a squad instead of 3.
That would be cool if they had 4. I will say this, though, before we move on from this. I think what hurt my feelings more than anything else, though, is we had such a great time playing Ghost of Tsushima and The Division 2. We were just killing it, man. Just having a fun time, joking around, enjoying ourselves, woohoo. And then we get to Outriders, a game that I have just come to. I don't know what it is about this game, guys. I really don't. But this game just has me freaking hooked. And I was really looking forward to playing this with you guys. And there were times when we'd be playing and we'd go through something and we'd all use our powers in conjunction with one another, do something really cool. And I'd say, man, did y'all see that, fellas? Wasn't that the coolest thing you'd ever seen? And Anthony would be, oh man, that was so cool. That was really cool. And then he'd be like, no, it wasn't. I was just kidding. It's not. I'm like, man.
Hey, Taurus, just make sure you put your gamer tag in that whole 400 group on Facebook. I'm sure y'all already got t-shirts made up. If you don't, Taurus is going to make them a t-shirt, by the way, for his Facebook group. But
I'm changing my gamer tag.
I can't believe you made a diss track. Damn.
Hey,
I got to come back now. I'm going to have to come back on Facebook or Twitter.
While he's doing it, he's
track.
like... while he's in his lab, he's like this. I'm gonna show these guys. Wait till they get this. I can't wait.
That was both the funniest and most uncomfortable thing I've had to watch Taurus ever do. When he brought that water bottle up, I'm like, okay, this is going a little too far for me.
I had to get him back, guys. I had to get him back. I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
James Anthony, Haterade.
It's what's in your cup.